Hello everybody and welcome hopefully back to my YouTube channel. So it's now February 2018, so naturally I figured now was the perfect time to do my films of 2017 video. Not like this could ever be considered late or anything like that. Now the thing is, I didn't get to see as many films this last year as I wanted to, so basically I'm just going to be talking about the films I did see and ranking them from worst to best. Simple? Alright, so without further ado, the absolute worst film I saw this year, and one of the worst films I've seen at the cinema in quite a while. Wow, I am really sad I paid money to see this. It's The Mummy. God, this film was stupid. The only real bright side about this film was Russell Crowe, because he actually kind of looked invested, which is weird because he also seemed shoehorned in and like a pointless character. Seeing the problems here? Anyway, there are a million videos pointing out exactly why that film sucks, so you don't really need me to go into it. So I guess I'll go to my number 16 film of the year. The Great Wall. Look, China, you make some pretty damn funny movies. The Mermaid is still one of my favourite films that I have seen. It is absolutely hilarious. So why is it when you're going to put in all your money behind a big export to the Western world, did you choose The Great Wall to do it? I mean, I'll give the film something. The costumes were really good. Yeah, this film just suffered from the fact that it was only 90 minutes long and no one wanted to explore, develop, or even interact with the characters. So we basically knew nothing about them. All this film needed was that extra half hour to give it the 2-hour run length, and spend that extra half hour on character moments and plot development rather than fights. Don't get me wrong, the fights were pretty good, but it really needed those character moments. And at number 15, Justice League. If my 6-year-old self could see the fact that we finally got a live-action Justice League film, and it was crap. Don't get me wrong, it was actually better than I was expecting it to be, but when you have no hope for a film, and then the film has a pretty good soundtrack, yeah, that's pretty much all I can say about it. It is the most meh and underwhelming of superhero films I've potentially ever seen. And I've seen Green Lantern. Wait. The Dark Knight franchise. Not because they're bad. They're not bad. They're just not the amazing, perfect films that I was led to believe before watching them. There we go. That's sort of it for the films that I really didn't like. The rest of these films are films that sort of range from meh to ones I quite enjoyed. You'll probably see the difference as the thing goes on. Without further ado, my next film is Kingsman: The Golden Circle. This film had a lot of good things about it. It had a lot of meh things about it. It had a lot of cringe things about it. It had a lot of random things about it. All I can say is that they killed off a character that I quite like really early on, and it just sort of put me in a bad mood for the rest of the film. Was it bad? No, not really. Was it good? No, not really. I don't know. The actors were fairly good. The random, stupid reason for bringing back Colin Firth, I mean, it was random and kind of stupid, but at least there was a reason, and at least it kind of made sense, even if it's completely implausible. So I didn't hate that as much as a lot of people did. And next on the list, Beauty and the Beast. Look, I'm not a fan of the 1991 Beauty and the Beast film. I find Belle to be fairly intolerable. Her voice annoys me. She's just kind of a meh character. Like, I understand there must be more to this provincial life, aspect, but pretty much all she has going for her is that she's not a moron, not boy obsessed and likes books. Oh, and I guess she's patient. Like, sorry to burst your bubble, all of you people who absolutely love that film, but that's not an interesting character. At least it's not to me. I don't consider either film better or worse, because I think this film does certain things a lot better than the original, but I think the original does certain things a lot better than this one. It's just more that I don't care for this story very much at all. And yeah, this film has certain issues. I didn't hate the singing, and I didn't think Emma Watson under-emoted, which are two of the main complaints, so I mean, that's something. Do I think they could have found a legitimate hill rather than using a green screen and really bad CGI? Yeah, I do. And next on the list, Baywatch. Some people hated this film. I understand why. There are enough fun things in this film for me to go, this film didn't suck. I had a decent time watching it, and I would probably watch it again, at least if there was nothing else on. So, you know, it was fairly stupid, but hey, so what? I liked it. It was fine. Next on the list, Logan. Yeah, this one's gonna annoy people. Okay, how to annoy people on the internet. Logan's overrated. Okay, hear me out. The acting is superb. The storyline doesn't entirely add up. The villains are kind of pointless. That whole section in the middle was incredibly predictable and actually happened in X-Men Origins Wolverine. Yes, I saw that film, and I actually remember bits of it. I mean, props to Daphne Keane. Let's hope she's in everything from now on. And also her stunt double. Get her stunt double in things from now on. But, like, everything else sort of like, it was a well-made film. I'm not saying anything against that, and if any of the actors had been nominated for Best Actor or Best Actress, I wouldn't object to it at all. It's just that the storyline didn't really grab me. And I understand that people was like holding out for a good Wolverine film after the last two, but that doesn't make this film perfect. Fair enough. Next on my list, Murder on the Orient Express. As far as adaptations of the story go, this one was fine. I like Kenneth Branagh as a director. All the actors were good. The storyline was told well. Yeah, pretty much everything about this film was fine. Yeah, that's really all I can say about it. And then we come to the films that I actually quite liked. Not necessarily the films I loved, but the films I quite liked. So this is up to my 9th, and actually I can say my 9th favourite film of 2017. The Lego Batman movie. This film was fun. Again, potentially overrated. Is it the best Batman film of all time? I still really love Adam West Batman. But yeah, no, this one potentially is. Certainly they at least get all the different aspects of Batman. Whether or not they portray them seriously is a very different matter, but unlike some of the adaptations, they definitely get Batman. This is fun, and I really appreciated all the references. Whew, there were a lot. Although I feel like they could have done more with some of the villains that they brought in at the end. Still, like I said, this was good. Oh, and side note, with all the actors they had in their cast, some of those side characters could have been shuffled around a bit. Like, you had Voldemort in your film, and yet you got someone else to play Voldemort. Number 8, Spiderman Homecoming. This is the best Spider-Man film I've ever seen. I don't care that much about Spider-Man. It had good points. I quite liked it. I bought the DVD. Yeah, this one's fine. Number 7, Wonder Woman. Oh. Now people are annoyed at me again. Okay, once again, I have to say, Wonder Woman, not perfect. Not as brilliant as people make it out to be. Is it amazing that we finally got a female-led superhero movie that doesn't suck? Yeah, it really is. Is it the most perfect and amazing film of all time? No, it's not. Is the third act fairly meh? Yeah, it is. Are the best parts about the film just the character interactions, and a lot of those get pushed over in favour of heavy action scenes? Yeah. Is that whole sort of like dance sequence where Diana sneaks into a party and then Chris Pine has to sneak in after her, and there's all sorts of weird things, and apparently no one can spot a really obvious sword, weird and pointless? Yeah. Did I really like all the stuff on Themyscira and think that they needed more of the lore and the background and the Amazons? Yeah. Could I just go on like this for quite a long time, perhaps forever? Yeah. Am I gonna move on now? Yeah. Number 6. Dunkirk. This is quite probably the best experience I've ever had in a cinema. The way the sound design works, and the score, and the special effects are absolutely beautiful. The storyline, good at times, bad at other times, but the special effects and the score and the sound effects are brilliant, and I hope it wins all the technical categories at the Oscars. So we come to my top 5. All of these films I quite enjoyed, quite a lot. Number 5. Jumanji: Welcome to the Jungle. Jumanji. Who would have expected that the reboot of Jumanji would be the exception to the reboot rule? This one was funny and lighthearted and actually pretty good. Yeah, I know. Weird, right? Not much I can say about that. Unlike Dunkirk, you don't need to see this in the cinema. Watch it when it comes out on TV. Watch it on your phone. You don't... Like, the special effects aren't the main point. The main point is the characters. Hey, here's a film where characters actually interact and grow and talk, and there's humour. Damn, certain films have been lacking that of late. Huh. Number 4. Star Wars: The Last Jedi. Okay, I understand the backlash to this film. Maybe I've rated it a bit high. That's fine. I still liked it. The 4-act structure of a film, normally I'm not a fan of. Even here I'm not, like, it works, but I feel like it could have been done better. I'm actually quite a fan of Poe's storyline of all people. Like, Finn's storyline, not so much. Benicio del Toro's character, definitely not. There was a lot more that could have been done with Rose. Rey and Kylo Ren's storyline is pretty good. Yeah, there's a lot of things to talk about in this film. All I can say is, if you haven't seen it, you should. And Salt looks pretty damn cool. Now we get to my top 3. At number 3, here is a film I didn't even really expect to like, and is oddly enough the one that's stuck with me, and the one that I keep going back to and actually really enjoy. Kong Skull Island. Yeah, I know. Who'd have thought? I don't know what it is about the film, but it's just a really likable film. It's really visually appealing. The cinematography, the way the action is set up, the way it's shot. Like, Jordan Vogt-Roberts, he got a lot of flack because he took on CinemaSins and did a bunch of other things that he probably shouldn't have. But this dude can direct. Ignore any of the other issues with the film. The way this film is basically directed, it looks really good. Are there too many characters? Is it hard to keep track of? Yes, but now I've watched it like 4 or 5 times, I can keep track of everyone. That helps. Do the characters really need a lot more development? Yeah, probably. But at least they were all likable. Are the celebrities phoning in their acting? Not really. They're definitely trying. They're not putting in Oscar-worthy performances. Why do I keep bringing up the Oscars? But they're still doing fairly well. I don't know. There is just something really likable about this film. It's just a nice, surprisingly good film. I highly recommend, especially if you can see it in HD. Number 2, drum roll please. Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. I like the Guardians films. I don't know why there was a slight pushback on this, like people saying it didn't live up to the original. I felt a lot more character in this film. Sorry, that's wrong. I felt a lot more connection between the characters in this movie than I did in the first one. Like, in the first one, they sort of decide they're a family after like a day and a half, and I'm like, that seems fine, but also doesn't that seem a bit hasty? Whereas this one, no, they felt like a family. Is everything about this film great or perfect? No. But does it work? Are the special effects amazing? Is the makeup amazing? Is it really annoying that it didn't get nominated for makeup? I keep talking about the Oscars. By the way, the answer to all of those is yes. Yeah, all I can say about Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 is, where the hell was Fox on the Run? You put that in the trailer. But Guardians Inferno is great. Alright, so at this point you've finally realised that we're coming to my number 1 film of the year. You've also probably figured out by the other films I've put on this list what my number 1 film is going to be. So maybe I should just stop the video here. Well, as a surprise to the 2 of you who are watching this and haven't figured it out at this point, my number 1 film of the year is Thor Ragnarok. Damn, Taika Waititi is great. I don't know what I can say about this film that hasn't really been said by everyone else. It's just crazy, but absolutely hilarious. You know, for all that there haven't been a lot of good comedies of late, now someone's gonna correct me in the comments, but none pop to mind. No films that are like just comedies. There's been quite a lot of really good comedy hybrids. So something like Jumanji, which is an action video game comedy hybrid. Something like Thor, which is a superhero space romp comedy action film. Are there moments where they undercut the tension with comedy and it might be a bit too much? One moment, I would say. Is there a scene that's meant to be New York but is really obviously Brisbane? Yeah, but isn't that great? Yay, Australia for representation, kind of. Are all the New Zealand accents in the film actually amazing because, you know, there's an accent in a film that isn't American, British or fake? I mean, who'da thunk it? Go watch Thor Ragnarok. It's surprisingly worth it. I think that's all I can say. I don't want to go into too much detail or make this video like 3 hours long. I recommend seeing probably all the films. Like, The Mummy kind of has to be seen to be believed. How little care anyone seemed to have for it. Yeah, go watch them. Yep, please remember to like, share, comment, subscribe, do all those YouTube things. And I think that's me out. Catch y'all later.